Yet again, the Buffalo Bills are going to the AFC
Josh
Championship.
Allen is him.
And the
Josh
way it
Allen is
happened
him.
just so happened to lay out where Josh Allen beat Lamar Jackson. So I don't want to turn this into a Lamar Jackson conversation. We can talk about every aspect of this game because there's a lot more than just Lamar as to why the Ravens lost.
Mark Andrews.
The Bills, Mark Andrews is the reason. Lamar also had 2 turnovers. Bills won 27-25. Josh Allen didn't really do much through the air, only 127 passing, but he rushed for 20 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lamar, 254 through the air, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and then 39 rushing on the ground and that huge costly fumble we all know about. They scored at the end of the game, 2-point conversion, pretty good throw by Lamar, hit Mark Andrews in the hand.
Yep.
He dropped it, game over. Bills are playing the Chiefs. Lamar loses again in a big spot. Mario, you're a big Lamar Jackson guy.
Yeah.
We know where the narrative is going to go here.
Oh yeah.
Right? I mean, everyone's talking about it. This is Lamar's
It's
Lamar's entire playoff career, 10 touchdowns, 10 turnovers.
Yep.
It's not even close to Josh Allen's stats in the playoffs. And he once again loses before the AFC Championship. He's about to become the 3rd-time MVP potentially. I mean, there seems like there's some discrepancy there. What was your takeaway from this game, and then with Lamar as well?
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like kind of, and I've alluded to this in past videos we've shot, but it came down to turnovers. That was kind of the theme of this weekend. The 3 of the 4 teams that turned the ball over all lost, and the one team that didn't turn the ball over gave up 8 sacks. So it just comes down to execution in these games. And Lamar, I mean, I don't think he was the biggest reason that they lost this game, but at the same time, you can't excuse turning the ball over twice, regardless if it was in the first quarter or not.
And they were both pretty nasty turnovers. Like that interception was one of the worst balls.
It was so bad.
You know,
so bad.
It just comes down to, I really think not enough gets talked about with John Harbaugh. And I get that Lamar Jackson, he can't control Lamar Jackson with turning the ball over, but you have to scratch your head and just wonder why in these big games, not only does Lamar turn the ball over, but maybe there's a reason why. And a lot of times it seems like, they're not doing what the Ravens do best, which is run the ball. I mean, if you look at the first half or second half, right? Lamar Jackson, 2 turnovers, was sort of effective, but
They tried to make him throw the ball.
They tried to make him throw the ball.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, third quarter, Derrick Henry rushes for 75 yards in the third quarter. Lamar Jackson in the second half, flawless. Literally, the only incompletions were when he was he had no options, had to throw the ball away. But
and Mark Andrews, dumbass.
And Mark Andrews dropping the ball once. But other than that, Lamar Jackson was perfect in the second half. And the big reason is when you get that run game going and you have Derrick freaking Henry in the backfield, I don't know, this Baltimore Ravens team, to me, in my opinion, is a better overall team than the Bills. But the thing that the Bills do best is grind you down and they don't turn the ball over. This game really came down to Josh Allen. I know his stats aren't necessarily great, but they just went into this game saying, hey, we're just not going to lose the game. You know what I mean? It seemed a little safe. I mean, all they did was run the ball, and they were kind of afraid to kind of
they ran it
push the ball down
36 times. Josh Allen only threw 22 passes.
No, I mean
he completed almost all of them.
Yeah, but all his passes were short screens, or But it's smart football at the end of the day. Lamar Jackson, he's trying to make something happen. He talked about it after the game too. He was
pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed at himself, and I mean, he's a much better passer than he was. But at the end of the day, he's not still, in my opinion, the elite precision passer. I think when he gets hot, but you have to work him up into a rhythm. And when you start the game off in an icy field, and you're Lamar Jackson, first drive, put this ball 40 yards into Bateman, and he's there's a way you can get the ball into Bateman, but you have to drop it between two defenders, and it's icy. The grip's not great on the ball. He sails it, interception, and then same thing on the fumble. I don't fault him as much on the fumble because we've seen Lamar Jackson earlier in the season
runs around,
where they snapped it over the head in the Cincinnati game. He picks it up, runs around. He can do that. He's probably one of him and maybe Jaden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes are the only 2 people where I'm 3 people where I'm hey, you
Go ahead.
Get a pass, try it. And ball slippery, whatever, ball security wasn't good. But second half, turned it around, was amazing. And unfortunately, Mark Andrews, who hasn't fumbled since 2019, old reliable, uncharacteristic fumbles on the drive. Ravens defense showed up in the second half, still held them to 3 points. Lamar Jackson, 88-yard drive, gets it to Isaiah Likely for a touchdown, puts it in Mark Andrews' hands, and just didn't come up. with the catch.
crazy.
So.
Ryan, what'd you see?
Yeah, I think the Bills took a page out of losing to the Chiefs so many times.
Yep. It was very
I think the Bills just realized, hey, we don't need these amazing things just because that just puts so much pressure.
Yeah.
When you have to do these trick plays, deep plays, do a lot of crazy things, just do what you know to do. And when it comes time, Josh Allen will do it.
Yep.
But it didn't need to. I felt like it really didn't need to because
didn't
they were
have to.
exactly. And I think
We
that's
might have got to see it at the end of the game.
yeah.
if
And
Mark
they
Andrews-
tied it up,
Josh
yeah.
Allen would have been like, hey, I want that moment if I needed
Yeah,
it.
then he can put
Then
on
he gets his
Superman
2 minute
cape and
1 minute
So I
drive
think
to score.
I think the Chiefs have a great formula, and I think the Bills from losing so much to the Chiefs went, hey, we're done with this. Josh Allen needs 400 yards, 100 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Whatever we need to do to win the game, we're going to do it. If you decide to turn over the ball, we're going to take advantage of it. We're not going to turn over the ball. We're going to make sure we're locked in, no penalties, no stupidity plays. And they did that. And I think as ugly as the game was, I mean, they won the game.
They won the
and
game
they put
for
up
a
a ton of
reason.
points doing it. So I just think, Buffalo's a hard place to play. And, they got to go to the Chiefs next week. But if they keep doing this, Josh Allen is ready to explode.
Yeah.
But you don't need to. I love it. I love the way
Yeah,
they're
it's
playing
like the
right now.
jockey's holding the
Yeah,
horse back,
they're
and
ready
you
to
know
go.
you could win regardless. So the number one standout thing for me in this game was DeMar Hamlin, and I'm not joking.
Yep.
I always joked when DeMar Hamlin, had the injury where Mike called for him to die in a
Whoa.
game, and it actually happened.
that was
Whoa.
And
crazy.
he came back, and we were always like, they make such a big deal out of it. And we're like, well, he's not really that good, dude.
This
played
game,
well.
He was
ball.
flying.
He played
He had
well.
the most tackles on the team: 8 tackles, 5 solo tackles, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss.
Yeah.
and pass
Big
deflections.
tackles for loss,
everywhere.
too.
No, he was all over the field. Their defense balled out.
Yeah.
I know Lamar played flawless in the second half. James Cook also, and Ray Davis when he came in as well.
And Ty Johnson.
And
I mean,
yeah, all their running backs are running
Do the job.
fantastic. They rushed for 147 on this Ravens defense, where their run defense has been pretty
One of
solid.
the best
Yeah,
in the
really,
NFL.
really solid all year. And then besides that, I don't like bringing it up because I actually like Lamar Jackson as a player. I hate the Ravens as a team because I'm a Steelers fan. But when Josh Allen lost in the playoffs last year, I was personally happy because I used to not like Josh Allen at all. But he got reamed on ESPN.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are talking about, the Ryan Clarks of the world. I saw all the clips circulating where they're saying, oh, I don't care what his stats were. Look he turned over the ball and they lost the game. He doesn't get it done. Dude, and that's not what people are saying about Lamar Jackson. Not on, radio, at least. On Twitter,
I
people
think
are saying
'cause
it.
last
'Cause of-
year there wasn't another player to blame.
Yeah.
I mean, the drop
I agree
stands
with
out
that.
more than Lamar.
But he's,
know.
once again, it's a playoff game with multiple
100%.
turnovers.
Yep, 100%.
And they lose.
they lose.
I know he recognized it as well, but he's about to become a 3-time MVP. That puts him.
Possibly,
he might, right?
Yeah.
That'll put him in a group of very, very few players. I think less than 5 all time that have done this. I mean, this is like Mount Rushmore accolades for his career for a guy
But we just haven't seen it in the postseason.
that he's never done it
won
in
an
the
AFC
playoffs
championship. Yeah.
ever.
Yep.
So how do we keep? And I know regular MVP's a regular season award.
That's why I feel like we don't talk about John Harbaugh enough. He's a great coach, but the Ravens
But he
were one
won
of,
a Super Bowl though. We've seen him do it.
he
Is
did.
the problem
Yeah.
with
we,
Flacco?
we saw him do it with an all-time great defense with Ray Lewis that John Harbaugh inherited. But dude, they go into these games, and I tell you, dude, they get away from what their identity is. I mean, it's 2 complete different teams when you look at the first half and second half. It's no surprise that they made it a game when all of a sudden Derrick Henry's running all over because that opens up Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he only
know
had
what I mean?
16 carries. the whole
Lamar
game.
Jackson is a great quarterback when he doesn't have to be Superman for the entire game, and he can do it occasionally. You see, every season he'll have 1 or 2 games where he just throws for 5 touchdowns and actually is Superman. But he needs a good run game. That's the Baltimore Ravens. You think run the ball. That's what they are. And John Harbaugh, again, this is not surprising for me because I had Lamar on my fantasy team, so I watched every Ravens game. They're the most penalized team. So undisciplined. And them turning over the ball and not being, ball security, they didn't have a lot of fumbles this season, but them just, stupid penalties, and then, you saw stupid fumbles. It's just what this team was all season. But it is unfortunate.
I get the Harbaugh,
and Lamar.
complaints, but I'm just saying.
No. Lamar 100% as well.
The narratives around
think it's both of them.
the narratives about different quarterbacks are always kind of hilarious to watch. It's you have the golden child, which is Mahomes. You get the Collingsworth announcing the games.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best complete
Him or
pass I've
Romo,
ever seen.
yeah.
And so it's well deserved though because he wins every year. So I don't really have an issue with it.
Yeah.
If you're going for your 3rd Super Bowl and you haven't lost before the AFC Championship, sure. no, go crazy over him, right?
Yeah.
But they're getting very close to the same treatment for Lamar. When you hear about the way they talk about Lamar, it's like one of the best quarterbacks
perfect,
of all
yeah.
time. It's like people didn't watch, Aaron Rodgers play football back in the day when he's doing that, but he also won a Super Bowl. Or like people who are putting out together crazy seasons, crazy stats, rolling out of the pocket. Like, I don't know. If you don't get done in the playoffs, in my opinion, you can't be universally recognized as one of the best of all time. I think Lamar is unbelievably talented, but time after time, again, it's the same story every single year. And I think we're getting kind of blind.
It's getting tough to defend.
It's getting
after
really
the
hard to
fifth
defend
year.
over and over again. And Josh Allen gets the best of him. Josh Allen's playoff record is looking a lot better than Lamar's is, and he gets a chance to do it against Mahomes. Mike, any closing thoughts there?
No, I feel like you guys covered it pretty well. But I mean, hats off to Bills for playing and grind it out. Just you didn't need to do anything special, but just kill the clock and waste them down, and that's what they did. So
yeah, and we
really
get the
did.
matchup
Congrats.
that everyone wanted to see.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Allen,
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead this week. We're picking the game next. Stay tuned with us. Drop a subscribe if you're not. Stay locked in. NFL Championship week coming up.